yell, "Let him go!" And the Eldritch Blast is this like, almost like I'm throwing a smoky ball at them. And it's all black and smoky. That's what it looks like.
Caelvo, you hear the, like, as this guy gets blasted off of his feet and slammed into, you can't even see it, but you hear him, Wilhelm scream, blast into the tree. You hear a, like, loud thud as he hits into the tree and then slowly, like, slumps down and slides down. A, like, portion of his arm now has been blown off. You can, like, hear the, like, slight kind of drips of blood as he presumably is dead.
We return to the adventuring party.
Okay.
Sneak around. Sneak.
Okay, they're coming.
Run away. Run away.
That's the first time I've just like had fun with a match in a long time.
Okay, so the last you guys saw, you were all transported to Barovia, 3 of you specifically through Elizabeth's mother, doing some sort of a ritual spell, you're not quite sure what. And then Caelvo, you were transported through somewhat of a kind of like time vortex. So, Caelvo, the last we saw you, you heard a carriage coming up the road, or the sounds of what sounded like a carriage. As you hear the carriage coming down the road, what do you do?
Well, he doesn't. He hasn't really had a reason to fear carriages, so he's gonna go up to the carriage and try to flag him down.
Okay. As you approach the carriage, you see that it's, especially for your size, rather large. Probably at least 10 to 15 foot off of the ground to the top of it. You see that it's drawn by 4 rather large horses. Even for kind of the average horse, these are well kept, well fed. They look like very well fed animals. Give me a perception check.
Perception. That is going to be. There you are. Haha, first roll, 17.
17. You see that the person that is drawing the carriage at the front is in sort of like tattered clothing. You see that there are like multicolored clothing on them. For example, their scarf doesn't necessarily match the rest of their outfit. From what you can see, it looks like they have pants on that don't necessarily belong with, you know, the shirt that they're wearing. It seems kind of like hodgepodge together. They have a like cap on that looks like it was handmade and kind of hand woven. It doesn't really seem to really serve much of a purpose other than clothing resting on their body. You see what looks like movement from within the carriage as you begin to flag them down, and you see him starting to draw the reins of the horses in order to slow the carriage down. As it comes to a stop, you see the driver now narrowing his eyes at you slightly. Well, now what is this?
Help! There were skeletons, and they chased me, and I'm a little lost. Do you know where I am? And he kind of looks back, almost expecting to be chased.
You see him kind of raise an eyebrow. He looks back behind you, kind of where you're expecting to be chased from. Doesn't really see anything back there behind you and says, I've never seen one of your kind before. I wonder if the master would like... He kind of like eyes you up and down. Let me give... I wonder if the master would like frog. And he kind of, you see him like knock on the front of the carriage, and then you begin to hear movement within the carriage. The door abruptly swings open. And where's your character right now, actually? Oh, there it is. One by one, you begin to see men walk out of the carriage. Each of them kind of eyeing you up and down. There's one of them kind of like flipping a coin in his hand. You see a couple of them kind of twirling small daggers in their hands, and they kind of continue to eye you up and down. Well, now. The master might either kick you out to the curb and throw you in the garbage, or he might just reward us. We've never quite seen a creature like you, as they begin to now slowly start to surround.
Well, I've never left Kelpwood before, so I really don't know where I am, or, you know, if you just point me in the right direction, I could probably foot it from here.
Don't worry about that. Why don't you go ahead and just get into the wagon, and we can bring you to our master.
Well, what about the skeletons? Would they be attacking your master?
No, our master's in control of the skeletons. You see one of them kind of flipping the coin, and he says, let's just get on with it. And I need you to make an athletics check. Actually, 6 of them.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's an opposed grapple check. We'll see, essentially. If you
Six.
fail one of them, then the others don't really matter, obviously.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I have no bonus to that. And that is 19. Oh, God. Okay.
First
15
roll
and
is
19. Oh, do you see it?
No, I don't. But first roll is an 18, so you'd have to beat that on the first grapple check.
Oh, it's a 5.
Okay. So you now feel as one of the bandits wraps their arms around you. Your skin rather slimy, but he eventually gets a good grip on you, tightening his grasp, and then a bag is then slid over your head from one of the other bandits and cinched tight, so you now lose your vision and gain the blinded condition.
Is
At that
this
point,
really necessary?
as you continue to talk, you hear one of the bandits say, "Shut up," as he punches you directly in the stomach.
Ow.
This is just an unarmed strike, so let's roll to hit. That is a 10 plus 3 for 13.
Meets beats.
Okay. What is unarmed again?
I think it depends on their strength.
Yeah, if they're not a monk or have some form of an unarmed attack, it's just their strength modifier is damage.
Okay. You take 1 damage of bludgeoning.
Ow.
And our other 3, you hear the sounds of the carriage, though you were admittedly farther off from Caelvo. You go through the scene where you obviously see Elizabeth summon her sword, and then I think you retracted it before we left the last session. And you now hear what sounds like rustling, scuffling. You hear Caelvo screaming for help and saying, ow. Go ahead and roll initiative, as all 4 of you can roll initiative, by the way. Caelvo, you're just grappled currently, but you'll still be in initiative. As you hear the sounds of what sounds like combat. You got a 1, okay. 1
So-
plus anything?
1 plus 3, I got a 4 total.
I got a 7 total.
14.
Caitlin, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I got a 15.
Okay, let me put you guys in order. Okay. Elizabeth, you kind of walk through the clearing of the woods now, catching decent sight of what looks like the carriage. You see a couple of lanterns hanging from either side of it. You see 6 masked figures, along with 1 driver, as I already explained, surrounding the body of what appears to be, like a slightly smaller than human size, but still rather large frog, screaming ow as they punch him in the gut. It is your turn in initiative.
Do they look like town guards, or do they look more menacing than that?
They definitely look like... So they each are masked with black masks. They've got hoods over their heads, and they definitely don't look like town guards, that's for sure. It's 6 men that as they, are putting like a hood over Caelvo's head and punching him in the stomach. They're telling him to shut up. The carriage itself doesn't necessarily look like it belongs to any kind of like a town. You don't see any sigils on it or anything. They're all kind of dressed in, kind of like ragtag clothing. It looks like either handmade or like pieced together, maybe from things that they've stolen from other people. It's definitely not any kind of like coordinated group like you would expect a town guard to look like. You've spent time around town guards, so.
And do I think that they've seen us?
Give me an insight check.
$18.
They look pretty concerned with Caelvo currently and not with you. They don't seem to at least be paying attention to you currently.
Okay. As a bonus action, I'd conjure my weapon again.
Okay.
And try and sneak up on them.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
That's a 6.
Okay. Do you have any modifiers to that?
I don't think so. I have a +1 to stealth. I rolled a 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Go ahead and sneak up. Or attempt to.
I basically just want to watch him for a second until my buddies come up from behind.
Okay, so you're kind of like slowly sneaking up, maybe you like find some rest behind a tree and you're kind of watching what's happening. As you are kind of like, slowly moving up towards the scene, trying to get a better look at what's going on, maybe trying to determine if these are people that you really want to fight or not, you step on a branch. That branch cracks under your feet, and you see two of them now who weren't necessarily dealing with Caelvo. There's like one grabbing him and putting the hood over his head, and then there's another one who's like punching him and telling him to shut up currently. Two of them now dart their eyes over to the direction that the snapped branch came from.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
The skeletons are coming.
Oi, who's over there? And you said that that's the end of your turn, right?
Yes.
Okay. It is this Cult Rogue's turn. You see him slowly start to move over into the direction of the snapped tree branch. Just walking rather casually. He doesn't really think that they're in much danger out here, it seems like. And then he's going to end his turn right here. Caelvo, it's your go.
Well, he hears a snapped sound, and he's already thinking it's skeletons that's coming for him. And these guys don't look like they're really going to help him. So he's freaking out, and he's like, the skeletons are coming. I got to get out of here. And he's like, Thara, slap you. And he brings his hands together in a big slap and unleashes a thunder wave around him. They all have to make Constitution saving throws. Within 15 feet, because apparently it's a 15-foot cube originating from me. DC Con 12.
Okay, two of them, the ones closest, save. The other three that now are like behind you right here do not save.
All right, those who saved take half damage. Those who didn't take full damage and are pushed back 5 feet, I think.
How much damage?
10 thunder damage.
Wow.
Ow.
Yeah. Oh, push back 10 feet away from me. But I might still be grappled. I don't know how that's going to work.
It would depend which one grappled you. Because if he's pushed back, then he immediately loses his grapple.
Yeah, I would say that it was probably this one that grappled you from behind directly, and then one of these guys on the side was the one that was punching you in the stomach. So all three of these, you are no longer grappled. You still have the blinded effect or condition, and these are pushed back 10 feet to here.
Wait, am I in the bag?
You're not in a bag, you just have a bag over your head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that happens, then he's going to try to bolt it blindly, because he already used his action, in the direction away from where he heard the voices and the punching.
Okay, let me think. What would be a good way to do this?
D4, see which cardinal direction he runs.
No, because he would probably be moving towards the current party that's like coming your direction, right? Towards the snapped branch, because that's away from the voices. Or he could also kind of move up the road. So I'll leave that up to you, actually. If he
Northward
moves,
is definitely preferred, because he doesn't want to get close to the branch, because he thinks that's the
Okay.
enemy, and he wants to get away from these guys, because they've been nothing but mean to him.
okay, yeah, you can go ahead and move in that direction then.
All right, and it's okay to, I know what you said, but, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
And that ends its turn?
And are they knocked prone, by the way, by your spell, or no?
It doesn't say prone, so I would have to say no. It just says pushed 10 feet away from you.
Okay.
In addition, unsecured objects that are entirely within the cube are pushed 10 feet away from you, and a thunderous boom is audible within 300 feet.
You see as these three are pushed back, their clothing and like one of them like drops his knife on the ground and has to pick it back up, kind of look up, not having expected a little frogman to have done something as crazy and wild as that. And they kind of look at each other for a minute before one of them says, are we sure that this is worth it? The other guy says, come on, we're already in it now. And they begin to take off towards you. This one specifically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Begins running this way. And it is now Alden's turn.
Alrighty, so I have a question for you. Did the horses make the save for the thunderclap?
Oh, that's
Good
actually
question.
a good question.
The way Thunderclap works is it's typically you basically hold your hands out in a direction and it's a cube in that side. It's not a 15-foot cube around you.
I
It specifies on
apologize.
the side.
It is actually Thunder Wave, not Thunderclap. I don't know if that's what you're
yeah.
referring to.
The leveled spell version of it. It should say on a cube originating
Yep.
From you.
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
right
it's
one. Yep.
from you and outwards.
Yep,
Okay,
that's
sweet.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a cube around you. It is in an outward direction.
I am going to move from the bushes and face this man directly. He is well within my movement. As I'm like kind of wading my way through the like
Wading my way.
bushes that are there. Where's Caelvo at over there? Okay. I like get to him face to face, and I say to him, "You thought you had them outnumbered," and then I uppercut with my staff, and I make a melee weapon attack.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I got to track differently, huh?
That is a 19 to hit.
That absolutely hits.
Okay, so that is a 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. You walk up. He kind of goes, "Who are you?" And you said you thought that they were outnumbered. You uppercut him with your staff, knocking a few teeth loose as he falls back down on the ground, prone, completely knocked out in a single blow.
Is it obvious to me that he's just unconscious, like not like critically injured, but just uncon?
Give me a medicine check.
21.
I would say that like it's pretty clear that you, I mean, you've trained with this staff for years at this point. You deeply understand the damage that it can inflict. You're pretty aware that not only is he unconscious, he's probably got a broken jaw in a couple of places, maybe a like severely wounded neck. And yeah, you're pretty clear that if he doesn't get some type of aid rather soon, he could suffer like severe and permanent damage.
Okay.
But he's not like in, I would say, not an immediate threat of dying necessarily.
Okay. And then so after he hits the ground, I'm assuming see that Caelvo has a like bag over his head basically.
Yeah, for sure. You're within like 30 feet, I think. So yeah, you absolutely can see that.
I call out to Caelvo. To us, little friend.
Who said that?
Is that the end of your turn?
If he responds with, "Who is that?" It is I, the light of dawn, and then that'll end my turn.
Okay. This cultist, following his friend that said, we're already too deep in this, we might as well go forward with it, continues and heads towards his friend. This one who saved on the con save decides that I'm going to have him action dash towards his friend that just got absolutely obliterated by some monk that's now joined. And he will end his turn directly in front of you. He goes, "Oi! Who is you?" And he fucking runs over there as fast as he can. It is now our friendly neighborhood orc's turn.
Yep, that guy is very much close enough, so seeing everybody engaging in melee, I'll go ahead and close up here on the other side of the monk. I'm going to just go ahead and... I have my scimitar, and I've... Depending on how you'll allow, like, if I could have drawn the scimitar as we moved forward.
Yeah, I would say that, like, as soon as you saw Alden walk up and uppercut someone, you probably, like, understand that combat is happening.
Yeah. Well, specifically because I do have 2 weapons. Can I only draw 1?
How does dual wielding work exactly? I'm not entirely sure.
I think that there's a feat that allows you to draw both weapons at the same time as normally would.
Well, the question is, can he just use a free action to draw his weapons?
Yeah, if you want to, you absolutely can.
Okay.
I would say that, like, yeah, you definitely, hearing the carriage and hearing the sounds, like, before you guys even approached, you, like, heard that there was, like, something going on. So you probably would...
already have, like, at least one blade out, yeah.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'll use my interaction on this turn to bring out my hand crossbow in the other hand. And I'm going to slash at the one in front of me first. That's a 19.
That
plus
absolutely hits.
Things to hit. No blood right on my weapon. That is 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And the scimitar has the nick ability. If we're using 2024 or no?
We are not using 2024,
Cool.
but go ahead and describe how you deal with this person. How do you dispatch them? Because that is enough damage to kill.
As they're coming up with like their weapons to close in on the monk, I'm going to literally slash across both arms, like just like slashing the tendons in both arms, and then just one final flourish across this midsection to drop them.
Okay. Alden, you literally see this orc walk up and absolutely just completely decimate someone who ran across the battlefield towards you. And not only did they expertly sever the tendons in their arm, but also slash down their midsection, killing them. A thief now lays before you, bleeding out dead on the ground. Yeah, do you take any other actions or bonus actions?
Don't think I can do a bonus action to attack the crossbow. I think that's a
Okay.
double check. Yeah, that's a feat. I would have to have crossbow expert. So he'll just like kind of raise the crossbow and be like aiming it threateningly towards the rest.
Okay. It is now the third person who got knocked back's turn. He's going to have watched one of his friends run across the battlefield and get absolutely butchered by a large green man. Having never seen an orc before, or even a half-orc in your case, he looks bewildered. You know what? Give me an intimidation on that kill as well.
This will go great. It's oh, I do have proficiency because of half orc, so I actually have a +1 to intimidation.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That's a 15.
As he watches his friend get cut down and killed in cold-blooded murder, you see him turn and action dash away 60 feet into the forest.
Smart.
That's his turn. It's now this rogue's turn. He watches his friend get cut down. He rolls a 16, though, and decides that he is just going to action dash up to the... Actually, how far is this? A little too far. Okay. He's just going to action dash up to Caelvo and end his turn there. Elizabeth, it is now your turn.
Okay. Let's see. How far can I can move 30 feet?
Yep.
And that's 6 tiles.
Correct.
So I should be able to get it roughly there. Nobody's over there.
You could also, I mean, you've seen both Alden and Azricus deal pretty handedly with these thieves themselves. But you do see the one person that you guys are like seemingly trying to defend does have a thief like upon him currently.
Yeah, so I would definitely get over there.
Yep.
I can get this thing to work.
There you go. Surely you can definitely Eldritch Blast right now, right?
Yeah, you can Eldritch Blast him.
So
It'll be a d20 plus your charisma modifier plus proficiency, which is 2.
Damn, dude. She's got like a +10 to hit. That's insane. Oh, never mind. Modifier is +4.
Yeah, so plus 6 is what you would add.
19. Okay, yeah, that absolutely hits.
Oh,
Go
no.
ahead and roll your d10.
I was thinking
Plus charisma, whatever that is. I mean, you're trying to hit the guy that's like upon Caelvo right now, right?
This is a D10?
Yeah.
Okay, I rolled a 6 and I add my charisma again.
Charisma. So 4.
That's 10.
Describe how you like this guy has now run up onto the frog person, is like reaching out to like grab him and presumably like get the hell out of here because they're kind of getting obliterated right now. You move from your position from the other side of the tree and run up and send out an agonizing eldritch blast. Describe how that happens and what it looks like when you do.
I just run up and yell, "Let him go!" And the eldritch blast is this like almost like I'm throwing a smoky ball at them, and it's all black and smoky. That's what it looks like.
Caelvo, you hear the like as this guy gets blasted off of his feet and slammed into, you can't even see it, but you hear him Wilhelm scream, blast into the tree. You hear a like loud thud as he hits into the tree and then slowly like slumps down and slides down. A like portion of his arm now has been blown off. You can like hear the like slight kind of drips of blood as he presumably is dead. That goes to not that guy because he's dead. Caelvo, it is your turn.
Well, to pull the bag off his head, is that an action or a free action?
Let's call it a bonus action.
Okay. Basically, he's going to pull the thing off his head and just get a visual and everything. I think that's
Okay.
his action is just going to try to orient himself because he has no idea what's going on. So he'll spend his action just kind of getting a bead of everyone that's around him right now. Just wide-eyed panic.
So you see this guy against the tree right here, blood just like slumping out of his left arm. He doesn't appear to be a threat currently. He's like currently either knocked out or dead in your opinion. You see a pile of bodies over here, 2 to be exact, piled on top of each other. And then these 2 are still menacingly looking at you.
Okay, that ends his turn. He's just like, kind of cowering a little. Maybe action dodge, just to add flavor.
Okay. So he's like kind of getting ready for these 2 to potentially approach him.
Mm-hmm.
These 2. Let me see. This first one, having seen multiple of his comrades fall, people that he's potentially known for his entire life, men that he has grown accustomed to not only working with, but maybe even knows their families. You see him kind of clutch onto his knife a little bit harder than it was before. He was kind of twirling it around in his hand, now clutching directly onto his knife. You see him grit his teeth and yell, "God damn you!" and then runs towards you, Elizabeth, and attempts to make an attack on you. That is a 12 plus 3 for a 15 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Okay. That is a 4 plus 1 for 5 slashing damage. He brings his dagger up and in a just feral strike comes down across your chest, slicing some of the skin open on your chest. And then it is now Alden's turn. You're muted.
So this guy in front of me who got his arms cut and chest cut open, he's like dead, not making saving throws.
Yeah, like absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
at least to you, he looks, based on that 21 from before, I'll say like to you, he looks absolutely dead or like not necessarily savable outside of, maybe, the same thing that you used on Elizabeth's father or like a lay on hands or something like that. But I mean, yeah,
Okay.
currently outside of like immediate medical attention, he's gone.
I'm seeing this other guy / Elizabeth here. I am going to move forward. That's within my movement as well, and give him a rinse and repeat of the other guy. Kind of an uppercut with the staff, again to the base of the chin. May your days be numbered. That's an 18 plus 4
Yeah,
to
that totally
hit?
is.
Plus 2 to hit, sorry. 18 plus 2, yeah, raw 20. Or
Yep.
dirty 20. Yeah, let's see what we do for damage here. 3 plus 2, that's 5. And then I'm going to make an unarmed strike by kicking him in the chest.
Okay.
Which I believe, what's my unarmed strike actually? I can't remember if it's a D4 or a D6. Oh, it's a D6, okay. We're at the 6 plus 2 for 8 bludgeoning damage with a kick to the chest. I
Okay.
place my staff on the ground. I hit him with the uppercut, place it on the down, and then just kick him.
As you hit him with the uppercut and then kick him to the side, you notice with the uppercut that he was like already unconscious. As your staff kind of like hits him in the side and in the back of the head, he's like slowly starting to fall towards Elizabeth, completely knocked out from the blow. And the kick doesn't really serve any kind of like damage purpose necessarily to him, but it's more of like as he's falling towards Elizabeth, you kick him in the side, and instead of hitting Elizabeth, he just falls over onto the ground. You like hear him labored breathing on the ground, but still breathing to your knowledge. You don't necessarily think you've done any kind of like lethal damage with it. That brings us to the final remaining cold member. You see him watch his buddy charge and with all feral ferocity attempt to slash across your chest, and he just puts both of his hands up. Listen, I don't want to die here. We are out of initiative now.
I'm gonna point my staff, holding it in one hand, across the gap between us, aiming it at his like head level. I don't know if he's like how tall he is, but like staff like head level, because we're not crazy far, I don't think. But like aiming it across. I will not take your life today. But if you continue to dwell in this darkness, I cannot guarantee you live. And then I'm gonna look at our orc.
Azricus starts kind of walking up, like still holding the crossbow level, then starts to slowly like lower it. You should go and run to your friend. He was the only smart one amongst you, but you're not too bad.
He, like, his eyes kind of dart between both of you over to Caelvo, who, like, was initially one of the ones who pushed 3 of his friends back with a thunder wave. Hands still up in the air. You're right. I'm so sorry. Please, just let me and my friend live, and I'll show you the way into town. Is that where you want to go?
What town?
He kind of, you see him kind of furrow his brow at you, eyes narrowing. The town of Barovia. Surely you know of it now. He's like looking directly at you now, Azricus, being an orc. You're surely of the devil, no?
I've been mistaken before.
Well, there is a town just a few miles up the dirt road that way I can show you in, or if you just let me go, I'll point you in the direction and you go on your way. You see him, he now drops his blade on the ground to like truly let you know that he's not currently a threat, and kind of like slowly starts backing away.
Whose horses are these?
They were this party's, they were this group's. He kind of like gestures to the men that are either bleeding out dead on the ground or like groaning as, you know, they were uppercut by your staff or, you know, knocked out by your staff. They were theirs. They're not mine now. You may absolutely take them if you'd like.
Consider them penance to the church for the sins you've committed today. And I'm gonna go pet the horse.
Absolutely. He like continues to back away, and unless either of you stop him, he spins on his heel and takes off in a full-blown sprint.
Did he point a direction when he mentioned the town?
Yeah, he pointed directly this way.
What's the quality of the wagon/carriage situation?
The horses are exceptionally well fed, like well groomed and maintained. The carriage, on the other hand, is like kind of a hodgepodge of different parts that are put together. Very rough, but mechanically it seems to work. The inside of the carriage is by no means cushy or anything like that, but you look in, you see what looks to be, you know, like some light rugs that are kind of put over where people might sit, or kind of like light blanketry there. You see a little lantern inside of the cabin of the carriage. There are 4 lanterns that surround the outside of the carriage as well, to give off a little bit of light.
And Azricus will finally turn to the frog. Are you from Barovia?
Hey, no, sir. I'm not. I'm not from around here. He's kind of cowering behind something.
Neither are we, I think. Alden, have you heard of Barovia?
I've never left Kelpwood. I don't know of any other place.
Not heard of your Kelpwood either.
Oh, it's on the coast by the Thunder Gulf. Wherever that is.
Not anywhere I'm familiar with.
Give
No, not of
me
either of these towns.
Give me history or religion, all 3 of you. Caelvo, you can also give me history or religion if you'd like, but the answer for you will be a little bit different.
Yeah, I'll do religion.
So
I got an 8.
That's a 14 with a +0 either way.
Okay.
I got a 16 minus 1 for a
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Nice. So, Alden, you have like never heard of any of this. You've seen creatures that look like somewhat similar to Caelvo, but nothing like directly similar. So you kind of have no idea what the hell he's even talking about. Elizabeth, you have seen. I think it's in Faerun, it's Grung, right? That's like the frog
right.
people in Faerun. You have seen Grung before. He doesn't really look like Grung that you've seen, but who knows what like the Grung say for their cities and stuff like that, right? Like, you don't necessarily know a whole lot about their cities or kind of where they live or anything like that. Azricus, I'll say on a 15, you know that like none of these places exist in terms of what you know. They don't exist on Faerun from your knowledge. You've traveled the world, moderately. You're not exactly like a world adventurer or anything, but you've traveled. So you should know at least like the basic name or have heard of it before. You're also fairly aware that like these are not places that the Grung necessarily are. And then Caelvo, on a dirty 20, I'll say that you understand that like there are different planets than where you hail from. You're like aware of other realms. You don't necessarily like know anything about them. You have no clue what Faerun is, but you are aware that there are like other realms out there.
Okay. Oh, if it helps, I'm from the world of Oyala Endor. It's kind of a planar planet, probably separate from where you guys are from. I bet. I must have traveled here from there, maybe. He's looking around, not liking where he's at.
I've heard of cultures having different names for a world. We call it Faerun.
Don't know that one. I'm Caelvo, by the way. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out like a little tree frog. And this is Chirp. Thank you for coming to our aid.
Of course, Caelvo. My name is Azricus.
Azricus.
And I am Alden.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay, nice to meet you. Are you guys friends, families? Are you going somewhere? Can I tag along? I'm a little lost.
We too seem to be lost. We came from the dark over there, and I point back to the mist.
We don't know each other well. We met in dire circumstances.
Were you guys chased by skeletons too?
We fought the dead. But we were in safe, so we thought when transported here.
Well, maybe someone in this Barovia might know how to get home.
I'm gonna start tying up the two unconscious ones.
Okay. They're like slowly starting to wake up. The first one that you like broke his jaw, he's like groaning. He's awake now, but he's like a little too hurt to like really do much. You know, we've all experienced like tooth pain, right? Or like nerve pain in your jaw, and like, yeah, that guy's not moving. He's very, very hurt currently. The other guy that you like kicked off of Elizabeth is still completely unconscious.
Well, the town's as good a place to start as any. You can make use of the carriage at least.
Yeah, how lucky are we to have come across some horses?
I didn't hurt the horses with Thar's wave, did I?
They seem to be quite fine.
Oh, good. I was just so scared.
Did they
The
say
horse-
why they wanted you? That's my first action upon a stranger in the woods is not to bag him and throw him in my coffers.
They just wanted me to meet their master, but they could have asked more nicely. But I don't know anything beyond that. I thought they were going to help.
Was the carriage empty? Like nobody came out of it?
No, so they're... Oh, sorry, you can talk in character. I thought you meant like currently.
Wait, oh, are you asking?
No, like did we see somebody come out of the carriage when they all left?
Oh, when they all left? No. And I would say that you didn't see them exit the carriage when they initially began their interaction with Caelvo. And currently the carriage is like empty. There's like things in there, you know, like I said, like blankets. There's like a lantern and stuff like that in there. But yeah, there's nobody in there currently.
I wonder who this master they referred to is, and where we are. The people roam the streets, taking others. Strange man.
Very strange.
Hey, bad guy. who's your master and why are you trying to hurt me? He yells to the jaw guy.
I'm like tying him up, and I kind of like I sit him up on his butt, so that he's facing you.
He, like, holding his jaw still, sits there. Oh. And he looks over to you, Caelvo. My master is the Count Strahd von Zarovich, the most powerful man in all these lands. He owns the very dirt that you walk on. And he, like, continues kind of rubbing. You can see, like, blood kind of falling out of his mouth every now and then as he kind of wipes it away. He's definitely missing a couple of teeth.
So what did he want with me? I just got here.
Oh, the master loves new playthings, he says, continuing to rub his jaw. He wants nothing more than to drain you. And he pays us quite the nice price, he says, kind of gritting what's left of his teeth in his mouth. He pays us quite the nice price for newcomers to Barovia.
Well, thank you, but no thank you. I think we'll be on our way without your master.
You hear him kind of like gritting through the pain chuckle. Yeah, I'm sure you'll meet him soon enough. The last newcomer that came through here started a rebellion. And now there's none of them left.
Oh, that's terrible. He looks to the other group guys there. What do you guys want to do?
Azricus is going to roll to this guy's pocket. He just said he makes money telling people. I'm going to absolutely search for his pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. You run through his pockets and you find a couple of silver pieces. You find his like a dagger that he initially started the fight with.
I'll stow that away. Actually, I'll put that.
You find a like small handwritten note, and yeah, I would say that that's it.
A small handwritten note.
Mm-hmm. It's like folded up
then-
and
Yeah, I'll unfold it. And is it in a language that we understand or I understand?
yeah, it's in common. The handwriting is rather crude though, so it takes you like a moment of kind of sitting there and deciphering it. It looks like it was either written by someone who's either very stupid or like a child. After taking a few moments to really kind of deeply understand the handwriting as well as the words on the page, you read that it says, "Come home to us soon, my dear." And then there's a signature at the bottom of the page, and a small drawing at the bottom of the page that seems like basic stick figures. Looks like it was drawn by a child. The note in his pocket, I will say as well, was like folded pretty neatly, for what seems like a vagabond like this person. It was taken like moderately well care of, whereas like the change was like rather loose in his pocket. Like he didn't like have it in a sack or anything like that.
Okay.
The guy who was initially kind of knocked out, but didn't lose any teeth, is now starting to also wake up.
I'm gonna go tie him up too.
I thought you like tied them up together. Did you?
That was my plan. I wasn't sure how that played out. But yeah, that's essentially what I would have done.
Okay. Yeah, there was no resistance from them or anything. So, yeah, they are both kind of like sat down back to back. The rope like individually tied around each of their like wrists and legs and stuff, but also kind of doubled up around them as well to kind of keep them stuck together.
How much silver was it that I had found?
2 pieces of silver.
Boys making bank.
The one who just recently woke up now is looking at all four of you. He like takes a moment. He's like still a little fuzzy. Who are all of you?
No one. Azricus just doesn't want to give any information. He's just straight-faced. Probably still
Who are
like
you
patting the
to
other guy
be
down.
Snatching things in the dark here. I'm looking at him inquisitingly.
He kind of looks up at you, still kind of, he is still a little fuzzy, so it takes him like a moment to like really focus his eyes on you. My master is the lord of this land, he says, looking at you. We've been tasked with bringing newcomers to him.
Lord of this land, owns the dirt we walk on, pays you to yada. Who are you? As I like push with two fingers in my center and like the center of his chest.
As your fingers press into his chest, you see him kind of crack a smile. I am nobody. I belong to a group of travelers who, let's just say, can move through the thin veils between worlds and realms. Me and my family have the ability to come and go into this land as we please. We can go through the fog, we can go through the gates, I can even walk up to the lord of this land's castle myself and not worry for my life. Sometimes I bring people here, sometimes I take people out. It's all about what the lord of the land wants, really.
And you come and go without his say-so.
Correct.
Oh, well, simple. We have horses. Take us out. My organization will make you rich beyond your wildest possible imaginations. We have ourselves a deal.
He laughs. Do you think that money is the only thing we're here for? Do you think that I would ever, he says, his eyes kind of grow large, risk the wrath of Count Strahd von Zarovich? You could pay
That
me
name
all
is irrelevant to me. I know not who it belongs to.
a demon. You could pay me all the gold in the world, and it would not matter when it comes to his wrath.
All of the gold. Have you seen what it buys?
It wouldn't buy me safety, nor my family.
Could buy you a wish spell. I mean,
Sorry, say that again. What is that?
I was jokingly saying it could buy you a wish spell.
True, probably.
I don't even know if my character would know what a wish spell is. Let's be honest. Anyway, so, well, I mean, if you fear him so greatly, let's.
So how do we use this fog to get home then? Like you?
Well, he says, typically you need the permission of the master in order to come and go. He's the one who controls the fog, or at least to my knowledge does. He's the one who has granted our people reprieve from the dangers of the mist.
Now, see, I would have gone with you to see him if you didn't put a bag on my head and punch me. That was not necessary.
He kind of like within the rope shrugs. Listen, I wasn't the one who did it. My friends are rather impatient, and ultimately, it doesn't really matter how you end up in the devil's arms, because typically you're not going to leave. So even if we have to beat you up and just hog tie you and throw you in the carriage, then the faster the better. You haven't seen what he does to people. I doubt he would kindly let you walk out. 900 years ago, my people saved his life, and that's why we have the leeway that we do with him.
Caelvo doesn't really respond after that. He's kind of a little down and kind of withdrawn, leaving them to the party.
Who are your people?
My people. We're known in these lands and in others as the Vistana. Some call us the Vistani. I prefer to refer us as the Vistana.
Can I make a history check to see if I've ever heard of them, or a religion check or something?
Make a history check, yeah.
13.
Anyone can feel free. Okay, you've never really heard of this group before. You've heard of, like, travelers that can travel through realms and stuff, but you've never really heard of, like, Vistani or Vistana. In every world, they're, like, nomads, right? And, like, kind of mythological stories, but you haven't heard much past that.
You that walk without bounds, but yet you return to this hellish place.
If home is hell really home? Nobody would dare follow me here. I can go into other realms, make all the trouble I want to, have all the children I want to, and come back here and not have to deal with the responsibility, because who's going to follow?
Well, that's true, I guess. Hell is the prison you've made yourself, so I guess.
Well said.
He allows us to be free. We come and go as we please, as long as, you know, when he does ask, we complete whatever task he wants of us, and what more could I ask?
He allows you to be free on your chain. Humorous.
We're all chained, friend. By your ideals, by your past, by your history. I just choose the chain. He kind of like looks at you now, Alden. You look like someone who has been chained his whole life by his ideals. I go to whatever tavern I want to, on whatever world I want to. I make money by bringing... He kind of pauses for a moment. I make money. And I get to do what I want when I want. My boss tells me to do something. We all have bosses. I'm sure you do too. Whether it's your god or some bishop somewhere, maybe.
Is this the one whose pockets we ran through?
No, the one whose like pockets you ran through was the guy that you broke his jaw.
I'm gonna search him and run through his pockets.
Okay. As you run through his pockets, you find 2 knives. Upon continuing your search, you find another knife strapped to his ankle. You find a silver ring on his left finger. Inside of his jacket, he's got what appears to be just like actual menagerie of pockets in there. His jacket, from what you can like reach, right, because he's like tied up with a rope around, his jacket seems to be handmade though, out of like multiple different kind of like cloth materials. You find an assortment of things ranging from like some like eyeglasses that don't appear to be like really worth much. You find what appears to be kind of like a fake necklace that's like hidden in one of his pockets. This very much appears to be like an actual thief who like steals things, pockets it away. You find, let me think, a like very nice like bronze bracelet. A couple of copper pieces on him. I'll say you find like 3 copper on him. And yeah, that's about all you can find due to him being like tied up with the rope and stuff like that. You don't have a whole lot of access.
Okay. I'm going to take every single thing that I find on him and throw it in all which directions around him. As far as I reasonably can throw them.
Pull the knife out of my bicep. What the fuck?
Oh.
No.
All of your treasures are not even worth the weight of me taking them.
He kind of smiles and laughs. Is that all you've got?
Well, I look around the rest of the group. I kind of eye back towards the carriage. I was like, well, we can tie him up and leave him here, or we can see if somebody in the town wants to do something with him, but I have nothing further for this man.
Neither do I.
I have no interest in their lives.
I
sure
don't
they'll
know if
agree
taking him to
eventually.
town is a good idea because they might be respected and we might get in trouble.
If not respected, perhaps feared if they've served this devil.
That's true.
You see the man who didn't have his jaw broken speaks back up again. Your best bet is you can either let us go, but not give us the carriages, and hope that we don't tell the Count about you. Or, if you leave me here, I promise you that my boss will find us, and I promise you that I will make sure that every ounce of your blood is drained from your bodies.
That's pretty
The guy-
mean.
The guy rubbing his jaw was like, "Look, man, just let me go, okay? I just want to leave. I don't want to be here. I really need to get this looked at."
You're a bit smarter like your other friends that... You not so much.
You can tell that the guy who was rubbing his jaw is no longer rubbing it, obviously, because he's tied up. Is a bit older. The younger guy, who is a little bit more, let's say, proud, I suppose, a little bit more combative with you and stuff like that. He definitely is a little younger, a little more boisterous, a lot less hurt, obviously, too. Yeah, maybe just less wise. The older man seems to understand his position in this moment.
Hmm? What do you think, Alden? The others are already fled. I'm sure this devil will find out about us regardless.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. The older one whose jaw I broke, I'm gonna go up to him and look him in the eyes and say, "Through your suffering, may you be forgiven." And then I'm gonna take out my healing pack and heal him for one use of it.
Okay, how much do you heal him?
Let me pull that up real quick. I think it's just a D4 plus whatever my bonus is.
Caelvo goes and grabs one of the daggers because he doesn't have one.
Oh, it's its own hit die plus 2.
Okay.
So I don't know whatever that would be, but
Add a
and if he
dagger to your inventory.
if he rolled a 1, he can re-roll it.
Okay, he gains 3 points of health back. You see him. He's still tied up, so he can't really make much movement, but he just gives you a slow nod. Thank you, son. I appreciate it. And he looks back over to you, Caelvo. Listen, There's no hard feelings between at least me and you. I doing what I have to feed my family and to keep existing. I don't have much of a choice when it comes to what I do for my line of work.
Caelvo will kind of come on over to him and reach into his bag and pull out a couple of rations and put it next to him. Some people have bad days. It's okay.
He looks at it on the ground, unable to reach it. I appreciate it.
And then he backs up away from them.
So, party, what is your decision with these two? Are you going to leave them to die, or release one, release both? The younger guy kind of spits on the ground. I don't want your goddamn rations.
Well, more for
gonna-
him then.
Untie the sensible one.
He kind of gets up, rubbing his wrists, and, then rubs his jaw, because even though the healing happened, he's still, in a fair bit of pain. He shucks the rope off of him, picks up the rations off of the ground, and kind of looks at the kid. Oh, one day you'll learn, my boy. And then he kind of looks across each of your faces to see, your general expression, and to kind of gauge if he's good to go in this moment or not.
I
see.
will not
Go ahead.
stop you.
He kind of gives each of you a nod of respect and then slowly walks off into the forest, the same direction that his comrades went into. Which leaves one man tied up on the ground next to the carriage.
This one is confident his lord will find him.
Yeah. I would
We'll
say
see
we
how
let
his
him.
lord treats him in failure.
It's
You-
safer if we leave him.
You see a moment of realization flash across his face, Azricus, as you say that. Hold on now. We can bargain.
No. You reap the field you sow, friend. And I'm gonna grab his bindings and literally just toss him off the side of the road into the foliage.
He lands with a thud. Oh, come on. Don't leave me out here. The wolves might eat me. You don't know what's out in these woods. I can guide you. He's absolutely in the bargaining
Oh.
stage right now.
I'm chuckling, and I say to him, "To bargain, you would have to have something we want." And I'm gonna get into the wagon to guide the horses.
Okay. So you're in the driver's seat of the carriage now.
Yeah.
I know things. I know this area. I know the realm that you now find yourselves in. I can give you whatever information you want. Just untie me.
Do you know the Morning Lord?
I do, actually. I know where the church is here.
I am ecstatic that somehow the place that we ended up in happens to have a church to my god.
I don't know much about the Morning Lord, to be honest with you. I don't go to the church, but I do know that there is a church of the Morning Lord here in Barovia.
So long as it exists, I will find it.
That might be our best option.
But you don't know what town it's in.
Buddy, I don't care.
The rest of you, what do you do?
Azricus has already climbed on top of the carriage and is setting up the little front bench to previde overlook with his hand crossbow.
Okay, so you're sat kind of passenger seat with Alden in the driver's seat. You're kind of passenger seat, kind of preparing to guard the carriage. Elizabeth and Caelvo, what do you do?
Elizabeth would get in the carriage and
Okay.
ride in there.
She the kind of falls back into her old ways, right, as a noble, and just almost looks to you, Alden, for a moment, probably wondering if you're going to help her into the carriage or not, and then realizes you don't have any servants here, and just steps into the carriage herself, kind of like adjusting her dress as she moves in. Caelvo, what do you do?
He's actually gathered some sticks, branches, leaves, and he's just piling it on the guy, just kind of helping to cover him up. There you go. Now they can't find you.
He tries to wiggle and squirm and knocks a few of them off, but ultimately you just put more on top.
Yep. And then he'll go and kind of cling on the side of the carriage.
Okay. And with that, you guys take off into the direction of Barovia, which we will get to in our next session.
Intermission.
This is not the first time I've escorted a pilgrimage.
There's a little window in the front of the carriage, right, that you can kind of slide open so that Caelvo and Elizabeth can also hear. I think Elizabeth's the only one inside of the carriage, actually.
Yeah.
She's just by herself, all prim and proper. Yeah.
Elizabeth, just hearing us talk,
Yeah.
slowly closing the window.
Caelvo's at the window with his head in. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Very scared. Are you a priestess of Griva?
I don't think I would know who that is.
Oh, she's the Fate Keeper. I saw you do a pew pew, which was really cool, but I've seen that with Priests of Griva, and I just wanted to make sure. That was pretty cool what you did back there.
You didn't seem like the kind of person that should be happening to.
Well, it was the first time it happened, so...
You seem fairly capable, too.
Huh?
Yes.
You seem fairly capable as well.
Not against bad guys. Usually I just chase down shadows and charms. Not skeletons and masked men.
Knocked them away pretty well.
Well, they were surrounding me. I wasn't comfortable. Where are you guys from? You said fairy ruins?
Faerun.
Yeah.
Yes. What was your name for it again?
Oh, the world I live in is Oyala and Dor, but I'm from the, it's like 4 villages along the coast, but it's an area called Kelpwood. And I've never left there since the Tidecaller Caelin brought me in.
Tidecaller, that is a wondrous name.
Oh yeah, he's the head priest of the Tidecaller Shrine, both to Brolin and Thara. And he took me in, so he's kind of like my adopted father, but he's dead now. He gets all sad like...
condolences to you. It seems as though we indeed have had quite a similar upbringing, friend.
I guess, but why would we be brought here? Could
There
this
was
be...
no...
My mother had something to do with the fact that we are here.
Did her mother bring you here too?
I don't know. There was I was just walking along the wooden causeway and just normal, and this fog came in, and then there was fighting and skeletons, and the fog got thicker, and Caelin was surrounded, and then I ended up here.
It was...
Truly, there's no telling what that woman has gotten us up.
It was
Lord
similar.
all of them.
The town that the ThornWycks protect was under attack by a large force of undead. The same as your kelp would.
Do you think this Count guy sent them out like he sends those guys back there?
I think that might be a possibility, yes.
I've heard rumors and stories of creatures so strong they could command the dead.
I've dealt with necromancers before. This is beyond capacity that I've seen. Most can command a dozen if they're powerful.
Alden, give me a religion check.
I rolled a 14 on the die. I'm just trying to figure out what my bonus is. +6. So dirty 20.
Okay.
Nice.
On the dirty 20, I'll say that like your specific order has heard of stories of like beings and creatures that can control like a pretty large amount of undead, though it's like never been something that even your order has like ever had to directly deal with. As you know, it is quite rare, obviously, to like come across a creature that powerful that can deal with it. But you have like a pretty a good understanding of like liches and like the different types of liches as well. You have a decent understanding of like Orcus and his like involvement with the undead and stuff like that.
Yes, I mean, in theory, all of this is possible, but I mean, I've never even seen a tome of how we would win. We face armies that cannot die. They die in the night and will be raised again to fight us the next. This is troubling. I truly hope my men got word to the Abbey.
I'm sure you saw I was able to light my blade. Members of my order to burn the bodies of dead when we face them. My
Good.
people should have been scattering to the winds to try and get word. This is exactly the type of thing we do go for.
Yeah.
Alden, on that dirty 20 as well, I would say that you have an understanding too that the creature that like looked at you was absolutely a vampire. Like having, kind of gone through it, you've like been thinking on it, you've looked back, you like understand that everything that you saw points like directly at a vampire. And I would even go so far as to say on that 20 that you have like a pretty good understanding of like what they are weak to, things like sunlight, radiant damage, etc.
Yeah, like as we're like riding the carriage, I'm like, and he just brought up about like that's burning the bodies is one of the reasons we took the oath, and then that like word kind of rang out in my head, and like I was just reminded of like the oath, and then I was starting to getting like flashbacks of like the men who charged with me to her father and my like brothers and sisters that may be laying in the fields in that dark place, and we weren't able to, at least I wasn't able to, thank them for their sacrifices in our fights and give them their last rites. And I was remembering my oath to them, and it kind of like I get kind of like brutish and a little quiet as we ride further for a little bit, and while I'm thinking of all of that, I overthink. I like kind of overthink on it, and that's where I get to the conclusion that you brought of what we're fighting. Vampires. Fucking hellspawn.
What's a vampire?
It's the only reason their master would want our blood. They are creatures that suck it from the living and use it to stay alive. They have made deals with death itself. Wretched beings. As I like tighten my hands on the reins.
DM. Could I roll to see if I might have encountered or at least learned about vampires in my training?
Yeah, of course. Roll history.
Okay. I do, as part of my Blood Hunter, I have advantage to at least recall information about Fey Fiends and Undead. Would this kind of be basically that?
Yeah, I'll give you advantage
Colin.
on it. Sure.
That's still going to be a -1 overall.
Yeah, so like you're attempting to recall if you've ever had that information. And if you beat the DC, then you know. If not, then you never knew. So
Okay.
I'll give you advantage.
I got a 19 -1, 18.
Okay. Yeah, you have like an understanding of what vampires are. You've never faced them, but you have heard like many folk stories about it, a lot of tales about it. You have heard like secondhand accounts of like people who have faced them before. So you have like a pretty good idea. I would say that it's not as like innately ingrained in you as Alden, for example, whose order is like, pretty directly against the undead, but you do have like a pretty solid understanding of vampires and you understand that like radiant damage is a weakness of theirs. You understand that the sunlight is weakness. You understand that they like typically need like a coffin or like their burial dirt and stuff like that.
Okay.
You even know, I'll even go so far as to say on that 18, you know that they have the ability to like charm people, not necessarily the ability to like control the undead in the way that you guys saw it in the battlefield out there.
Because Alden, you did say vampires out loud, right? Like in
Yes.
realization. Okay.
Yeah.
If it is a vampire lord behind this, they would have to know some sorcery to control their dead like they do.
I mean, vampirism is just a condition. Who knows how powerful this being is outside of it?
900 years. That's what they said. 900 years ago, they had saved the life of their lord. Their people had. 900 years of experience.
Caelvo's kind of one of his last actions. He'll be as the party is talking and traveling, he'll start muttering under his breath and just muttering and muttering. And after about 10 minutes, his eyes flash, and he casts detect magic, and he's mostly focused on the woods, the forest, the mist, to see if there's any kind of magical influence in the world around them, because this doesn't feel natural to him.
So you definitely feel magical influence on the nature around you. You feel necrotic energy coming from the like fog, which rests like just outside of kind of like the forest line that you can see. There's like sparse kind of trees kind of dotted in between you and like what looks like pretty dense forest. As you're kind of traveling up the road. The road itself is, like moderately cleared out. Like I said, there's like, kind of sparse dotted trees. The like natural order, give me a nature check, actually.
All right. And he'll be relaying this kind of like as he's detecting this, necrotic injury over there and this and that, just kind of saying it so it can be heard, but not terribly too loud. 13 nature check.
Okay, on a 13, I would say that you have like a decent understanding that, kind of like I said before when you initially came in, that this place is not in control of like natural order, like natural chaos. It feels very controlled. Like there's a being that could move mountains here if they wanted to. Yeah, I would say that's about all you pick up on a 13. You definitely...
So it's kind of
think
like a
how
lucid
far-
dream in a way. That someone, it's
Sort
like
of.
in someone else's lucid dream that they can have control over.
Yeah, exactly.
At least that's how this place seems to feel. It's very uncomfortable.
Don't know if I appreciate that being shared. That makes me uncomfortable as well.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if the information might help. I was just curious.
Probably better than I.
I have no
Elizabeth.
idea why we've been brought here, but I know that it cannot be good.
What do we know of your mother?
Things happened quickly.
I had no idea that she was capable of something like that.
Never any sort of magical practice.
You never really noticed anything about her. She was always just like a rather strict mother. She had like, interesting habits, but nothing like of this nature.
I imagine she always like had her part of the house. Like I had like maids and stuff take care of me, and she just
She has the
kinda-
third and fourth floor. You had the first and second.
Yeah.
You were also just like never very close with your mom, so like in your free time, you always spent it with your dad, it seemed like.
Me and Papa would go shopping all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's just that I wish there were some signs at least, like it came out of nowhere.
I mean, a vampire of this strength, she could have just been charmed.
The capability. It still has to be there.
Who knows?
That was foul magic.
Definitely think that could be a possibility, but I'm also not going to rule anything out.
I mean, they made you. And I'm gonna like kind of gesture back into the thing while I'm like still driving the horses.
Perhaps there was intent. Why specifically send you and us? Were we even intended to be here? Kind of looked to Alden. We just happened to be with her in the room.
Didn't she say you were always his?
I have no idea what that is about. And frankly, it freaks me out a little bit.
I think then we should take great deal of effort to keep you away from whatever this thing is. Whoever this thing is. Count Strahd, Von Little Bitch? I don't know.
As long as we've all come to a consensus that great job, DM. Session 1, everybody's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Good.
Except for Alden, he's got that glimmer of hope in the distance. There's a Church of the
Aw.
Morning Lord
He's got a
somewhere.
swag
Church
about
you
him.
guys don't even know, dude. You don't even know.
It's like he knows some secret about everything. Never know what's gonna go on.
Listen, part of me thought about making the little one take the oath of the flame, and that young man could use some time holding a coal. Teach him sense about him.
That seems a little bit harsh.
I reach my hand back through the doorway and show you the burn scars on the center of my palms.
That looked painful.
What? Why
Every
would
lesson leaves its mark.
Why would you do something like that?
To know you can endure. What time? Well, actually, this. Okay, I would know that I don't have to worry about my prayer timing right now because we came here. It was sun. I immediately prayed. Then we had the little bit of combat. So, yeah, I'm kind of chilling.
Yeah, I would say that it's like approaching evening time as you guys now like crest a hill and truly start to like come into view to what looks like a like once great town that now seems very run down, very dilapidated. There's like from the distance you can see that the wood is like beginning to rot. It has like that kind of like a darker wood like rotting color that wood gets when it's either like damp or like rotting and has like mold on it. You see like really large kind of like iron gates towards the like entrance of the town that are like wrought iron that kind of reach up towards the sky. Behind the town, you see on an elevated cliff a like very large castle that looms and casts a shadow upon the town itself. The castle is like very, very old, potentially a like millennia or at least like several centuries old. And the castle actually looks like extremely well maintained, though. Even though you can tell that there's like aging to the stone and there's aging to the castle itself. The castle looks well maintained. You see like lights inside of the castle. At least in terms of like what you can see from the single spire that you see on the cliff. And yeah, that's where we will end the session tonight.
How was your game, Toms?
It was good. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.